Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Q&A video. So in this one's focused on episode 18 and 19 and stuff. And thank you guys for posting all of your questions when I asked. I really do appreciate that. If you want to take part in these Q&As or at least have a chance to, because obviously I can't read every single question, just go follow me on Instagram. That's just at MusicMan on Terrace Street. The link for it should be down below. These Q&As, definitely a lot of people are having a lot of fun with them. Probably more because it's more interactive. But yeah, I have a lot of fun doing them as well. So it's just a lot of fun to do. But yeah, let's just jump into this Q&A here. First question, was Andrew Lincoln's retreat from the show orchestrated or foreseeing the Rick Grimes trilogy instead of being something that Andrew Lincoln decided by himself? We had CRM indications previous to his retreat. I actually think Andrew Lincoln wanted to leave, and then so they wrote stuff around that. Like, I know that they had some stuff set up beforehand in season 7 and 8 and kind of in 6, but Andrew Lincoln talked about leaving the show in season 4. He wanted to leave, maybe in season 4 or 5. I think it was in 4 he talked about leaving in 5, or he talked about leaving within a couple years. Like, he only had a few seasons left kind of thing. And so I think they worked out some stuff starting around season 4 and 5. And then I don't know if the Heath thing was related because I know Corey Hawkins is his name. I always want to say Corey Taylor. Corey Hawkins, I believe, is his name. He wanted to leave the show, and so they wrote it out the way they did. But yeah, I think it was more Andrew Lincoln actually wanting to leave himself, and so they wrote it out around him. What was the happiest moment of the show for you? Mine was the snowball fight. Oh, happiest moment like that. That's really hard to say because there's a lot of really good moments. The snowball fight definitely was up there. It was a nice moment. Honestly, I would probably go with Rick playing with Judith in season 9, episode 3, I think it was. I think that episode was titled Warning Signs. I could be wrong, but that was just such an amazing episode. After everything that Rick went through with Carl, with everything, just seeing how great of a dad he was playing with Judith, and him and Michonne, just like this happy family, you know, like they created this and they're just this unit. They're so strong together. Like that moment, it was just, I would say it was probably one of the happiest moments I've seen in a while. The very first episode of season 9, A New Beginning, there was that moment in there too, but I would say that was a little more bittersweet because there was some stuff there with Carl and I felt a little more sad. So I would say season 9, episode 3 was probably up there for me. Maybe my favorite of all time. I'm trying to think of past moments, but there wasn't really too many. I mean, Rick finding Carl and Lori in episode 2 or 3, I think it was, that definitely was really powerful. It's got to be with Rick finding his kids. I don't know what it is. It's just so beautiful. It's an awesome moment. Would you be interested in Connie and Leah also being in the Carol and Daryl spinoff, and we could have a love square? I'm not actually really interested in that. I think that's just, I don't care if the characters are in there, but that's also kind of a lot. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus, this has just become the Maury show at some point, right? I'm okay with Connie and Leah being a part of the show. I would preferably not want Connie there because I view her as a Walking Dead character. Leah, I don't really view her as like a main Walking Dead character because she was in this episode and she was gone. I can see her being a part of the spinoff. Maybe she can be more of a spinoff character. Connie, it's kind of, if they're gonna do this spinoff, I want them to try and sever as much as they can from the main show. And Connie, I think, is a main character on The Walking Dead, so you know, you're just bringing more of that onto the show, right? It's like having Eugene come along with Daryl and Carol. It's the same thing. Why would I want Eugene there? It kind of takes away from it being a spinoff. Same thing if Ezekiel came and stuff, right? So it's kind of, I want those characters to be there in Alexandria, to stay there, so we have the main Walking Dead storyline still over there, but Daryl and Carol have their own thing. Leah could be there because, again, I don't really view her as a Walking Dead character because she was in one episode. But do you think these 6 new episodes are fillers? I actually do think that they are quite fillery because it's just not a lot really happens in them. I do enjoy them a lot, but I would say they are pretty much fillers, yeah. And the main reason really is because we know what's going to happen over the next 6 episodes. Like, I would say that's something that I as someone who's covering all of this anyways and looking, not even that, it's just a fan, I would say, it's not as exciting waiting until the next Sunday. Like, it is, but it's not. Like, it depends on the episode, right? I'm excited for the Commonwealth one for sure. So that's not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. And then here's Negan I'm excited for. So I have to wait until all of that. And so until then, it's kind of like filler And even with the episodes I am excited about, it is kind of filler in the sense that we don't actually progress with the story at all, right? Like filler is just something that happens that doesn't really progress the story at all. It is just completely unrelated, and it can be involving some of the characters, and it's just literally this standalone story, which is what these are all about, right? Episode 17, I would say that wasn't filler. 18 is kind of filler, not really. I would say mostly is. 19, I think, is actually probably going to be mostly filler. 20, I don't think it is. 21 probably will be, just based off what I've heard. And then 22, you could say it's filler, but Here's Negan is something fans have been wanting to see for a very long time, so I would argue that isn't really filler. Because filler, for some reason, there's like a negative vibe to it, right? Like filler means it's bad. It's a bad episode. And I think you could say Here's Negan is filler. It's good filler, or like really good filler, right? I heard a rumor that ALYCIA DEBNAM CAREY was spotted on set for season 11 of The Walking Dead. Even if it's not true, do you think a Fear crossover is likely going to happen next season? I haven't heard that rumor, but if it's true, that would be pretty surprising. I actually don't think that is going to happen because it is the final season. Like, maybe you could see some stuff where they'll hint that some characters have been around. I know that like everyone wants Morgan and Dwight back. I really do want them back on the show too, because it is the final season. Like, we have to have Morgan and Dwight, right, back on the show. We have to end The Walking Dead with those two characters back. I want to see more stuff with Dwight and with Negan. Like, if they ever do a Negan spinoff, maybe you could do something there. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I think if you do bring some Fear characters and put them on the show, you're taking attention away from The Walking Dead, which could be bad potentially. So I'm leaning more on no. But obviously, because it is the Commonwealth, because of the storyline we're going into, I think it's possible. Do you think Judith and Hershel Jr. will be friends or enemies? I think they're going to be friends that could potentially turn into enemies. Not really enemies, but just like they argue and fight a lot. Maybe about Negan, right? Like friends argue and sometimes aren't friends for a while, but eventually when they grow up, they become friends again, kind of thing. Like I think it could be like that. We'll have to wait and see. It'd be so sad if they weren't, though. Could you imagine like the daughter or the child of Rick and the child of Glenn not friends, like they hate each other because of their point of view on Negan? That would just really suck. It really would. There's a shot of Gabriel and Aaron sitting on a table, and there's a beer bottle that says Duane Jones. Is this just an Easter egg, or does this mean something else? It's just an Easter egg. Like, obviously, they're like, could you imagine if Duane Jones somehow just became very successful and sold whiskey and was very, very successful in an apocalypse? Like, it definitely is an Easter egg. It is kind of cool because it's really I don't want to say his return, kind of like his return to The Walking Dead in some sense, but it's really our first mention of him like that in however long, and we are going into the final season, so it's kind of cool. What's your favorite all-time DARYL Dixon moment? I don't really know, to be honest. I like when he put the grenade in the tank in season 4. That was really cool. There was the bazooka moment. I think that was with No Way Out. That was really cool. Was that No Way Out or was that with the Saviors? I think it might have been the same episode. It was around there. Daryl versus Alpha was pretty cool. Same with Daryl versus Beta. I don't know. There's a lot of moments. It's really hard to say, but yeah, I actually really don't know. There's too many. Like, I actually do like that moment where I think it was where I really started to like Daryl a lot more, is where he got super pissed at Bob because Bob was drinking alcohol and stuff because he was an alcoholic, right? And Daryl was like, he said something like, I'll beat your ass into the ground or something. And the way he said it, I still remember that scene, however many years later. And I was just like, whoa, that guy is like, he's tough. So when I think of that scene, and Bob too, he's like my favorite character. I've talked about that a lot on this channel. I've said like, I love Bob. So maybe it could be that scene there, because I thought that was a pretty cool moment. But yeah, I don't know. Why did Daryl and Carol fight again? I thought they forgave each other in season 10B. Well, I think they had to also write some stuff for these 6 new episodes, and there's still some stuff they never really resolved. Like, they kind of became friends again, I guess, in season 10, but they weren't really not friends, right? Like, if you think of what happened to Carol and Daryl after Connie went missing in the cave, Daryl didn't really react to Carol. He just kind of, he didn't get mad at her because he couldn't, and even later on, he really couldn't. He couldn't say anything to her. He didn't want to. And so now he finally did. So are Magna and Rosita going to be in these episodes? I kind of miss them. I don't think they're going to be. I do miss them too, but I don't think they're going to be, because I think Rosita, the actress, was doing a bunch of stuff, and same with Magna. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be. At 9:02, while working on the bridge, Aaron said to Daryl that he'd make a great dad one day, foreshadowing from the writers that Leah could in fact be pregnant. Well, potentially, I guess, because they did write dog or the backstory for Dog back then, right? I think it's possible. Yeah, I'm sure they've had so many ideas for the character and what they plan to do with him in the future. I think people will look back at that scene and be like, yeah, you know what? Daryl did make a great dad, because I do think Leah was pregnant. I still really believe in that theory. Until I've been proven wrong, I'm going to believe in that. And so, yeah, I think that actually could be foreshadowing. Q&A, was your daughter born? And what do you think will happen to Maze? I think Maze is probably going to die or just leave. I'm leaning more on die because I don't think we'll ever see Robert Patrick come back. And was my daughter born yet? No, and it's getting really frustrating. Like, how long can you go? Like, to 42, 43 weeks? Like, how long can you go before your kid's supposed to be born? Like, with my previous two, my daughter was 2 days late, and then my son was basically 2 weeks early. And now it's just like, I don't understand. We're going longer. So yeah, I'm hoping she's going to be born very soon, but we're going to have to wait and see this. It's my girlfriend, or I guess fiance, is very, very frustrated right now. Understandably so. And so, yeah, it's just, we're just kind of waiting right now and watch. She's going to be born right when The Walking Dead is airing this Sunday. It's going to be something like that. Do you think Rosita is going to have a bigger storyline in season 11 since she is not going to be in these new episodes? I don't really know. They are going to give her something because you're wrapping up all of these characters' storylines, but a bigger one, if there's going to be a bigger one at all, it could be just in response to the fans, because a lot of fans got pretty mad at The Walking Dead and AMC and stuff, or not really AMC, but the writers of The Walking Dead, for not giving her that big of a story in season 10, the second half anyways. And so I could see them doing that in a response to that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any point really to give her a bigger story just cause. If you had to choose, would you rather Leah end up at the Commonwealth or the CRM? Like when we see her reunite with Daryl for the first time, do you think it'll be at the Commonwealth or the CRM, or do you think they'll just come across each other randomly in the woods or something during the spin-off? I think it's probably going to be... if I had to choose which one I prefer, I don't actually really care. Like if I had a gun in my head, probably CRM maybe, because then it's closer to some Rick Grimes stuff and it could make the movies really exciting. But I don't really care, to be honest, because no matter what, I want to see that again for sure. But the CRM and Commonwealth, they're kind of the same thing. They're big communities that it's like normal life in both of them, right? So I think that would be pretty cool, but they could just come across each other randomly in the woods. But I also don't like that because it's just too convenient, right? So, but I'll leave it here. Thank you guys so much for all your guys' questions. Again, make sure to go follow me on Instagram if you want to take part in these Q&As, or at least have a chance to. And yeah, make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.